In 1,000 feet, turn right onto Golden Isles Parkway.
Here we are.
Right onto Golden Isles Parkway.
So I gotta stop and do some Tesla charging as well, because you know you got to do that. After charging the Tesla at another charging station, because one of the other ones had an issue, then I headed over to Omar's, so had to go into northern Florida, and then from that point we hit the road and started exploring. InNOut Burger.
You ever been there?
No, I've heard about it. It's iconic for me, like just to hear about it. See if you get it. Yeah.
They literally have like 3 things on the menu.
Yeah, so it's another warm day. Gonna gotta get a swimming pool ready. Yeah, actually, we find some water. It's only like 42 degrees, I think, maybe.
It's freezing.
Yeah, it's freezing for Omar. All right, you know, you're getting close to Area 51. You see a sign like that. Road tripping out here. Never know what you're gonna run into. Might be some aliens out here. We get near the area. Jumping that road, Alligator. Woo.
I guess I should probably back up.
Yeah, we don't know what that is. That thing looks, whatever that is, it looks like it's coming our way, and we. Oh.
He's not even slowing down.
It's like, yeah, man. Whoa. We've got to.
Oh shit!
Don't want to hit that, man. We got him coming.
He's coming right towards us.
He's coming towards us, and we're trying to get away.
I could pull over to the side here.
Yeah, we gotta do something here. We don't want to be in the way.
Where do I go?
I don't even know. Nah.
Look how big that truck is.
Holy Toledo! Whoa. Look at that thing. Whoa! Wow, that's a big one.
It's a driller.
Yeah, I wonder what they're drilling for. Yeah.
He said. He was saying, "You going that way?" We're doing some sort of sign language right now.
Yeah.
Should I follow him? Maybe that's the way out.
Maybe. I don't know if he's pointing that way, saying like more's coming, or or maybe he'll go that way. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. Middle of no man's land.
Hello. How do we get out of here? We just kind of randomly got in here.
Back that way.
Back that way? Okay.
That's easy.
All right, thanks.
All right, so that's what it is. More's coming.
Okay. They're coming this way.
Yeah. Look at that, huh? Boo!
What is up, fam? On a little road trip right now. My friend Roland.
Hey.
And we rolling through the desert.
Oh yeah.
What the heck? Ain't nothing out here. Wonder if there's any animals out there.
Be a horse with no name out there in the desert. So it was time to get out of the coldness, and then Omar and I drove further southwest until we got into California. And this isn't the first time we went out this way. And it was just nice because it was much warmer there. It felt so much better. You know, this time of year, you know, especially like late October and November into December, the weather just starts cooling down everywhere. Unless you're in the South, like here in Georgia or in Florida. But when you're out in Nevada, it's cold.
Look at that. A lot of buildings back there. Whoa.
So that's what it's looking like out here right now. Welcome to this traffic in LA. We're here in LA. We're officially in LA. Walking over to the beach right now, that's what I'm doing. I guess it's called Rose Park because there's roses growing here. Either that or they grew the roses there because it's Rose Park, I'm not sure. But it's beautiful. Just been walking quite a distance. I'm gonna get at least 5 miles walking back and forth to the beach. But look where it is. It's been 40 years since I've been on the beach. 40 years. That's a long time, so I'm looking forward to reliving my childhood by walking on that beach right there. It's very hazy out here though. See all that? Look at that. What is that, smoke? Something going on out here. It's like very smoky, isn't it? Or is it haze? Is it smog? What is it? What's going on here? Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Look at that. Way up there. Down here at the beach, working my way down here. It's like a little walk just to get down to the bottom here. There we go. We're here. It's like a 40-year reunion. Like, I haven't been here in 40 years, and here I am now. Wow. 40 years. That's a long time. Around here, not very much people here. I guess the pandemic just keeps people away from places, huh? Figured out here it's pretty open, you know. Don't have to worry about it, right? Just go out by the ocean and enjoy the fresh air and that ocean breeze, which is really nice. Oh, look at that. As you see, it's very hazy here. Can't see too far. I don't know if that's the smoke from all the fires or something, or if it's just the haze or the smog or whatever it may be, but it's definitely different. Definitely different here. Even the seagulls look different. Huh. So here I am in Long Beach, California. 40 years since I've been in Long Beach, California. Wow. Time just goes by. It's crazy. I hear planes, but I'm not going to see them out here with all this smoke and fog and what have you in the air. The Long Beach, California weather was amazing, and it was just nice to be at the beach on the West Coast. I'm usually at the beach on the East Coast, and the temperatures were just right. There was barely any humidity there, and I really enjoyed my time there. Much warmer than it was in the northern part of Nevada, and definitely want to go back again, you know, especially with one of my best friends. I colored my beard. I just have to sit in for about 25 minutes. It's crazy. Look at how those trees are, huh? It's pretty neat. Getting my steps out here. Might be some alligators out here. There's got to be some down in there. I don't know what's going on, but that place right near that house that I'm looking after, I don't know if somebody's just like messing around with me, or if there's a ghost there, which, you know me, I do get curious and start exploring, looking for answers in the spiritual world, and sometimes things happen and it's very mysterious. But I have been dealing with this crazy stalker now, and I thought it was over with, and then it just starts up again. But here I am trying to keep my distance, but who knows? I could be tailed over here. Something might come jumping out of here. Just gonna get my steps.
Would you look at that? Just look at it.
Come on, you know you want some. You know you want some. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. There you go.
Oh man, I want some!
All right, who wants to feed them?
Gross.
Here.
You want to feed them? I want to feed them.
You don't want to feed them mealworms? Look. This is my favorite chicken.
There's one. Amaya, go hold the chicken. She wanted to hold the chicken.
Yeah.
What you doing there, chicken?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your favorite one.
That's my favorite one.
That's your favorite one.
Se llama Hermana María Clarence.
Wow.
Porque se ve como un nun.
Monja, right? Is that how you
Nonja.
say it? Monja?
Nonja?
I think so.
Sister Mary.
These are moving. And I highly doubt the fan back there is making these move. I don't think I made it back here in time. As soon as I came in the door, these were doing all kinds of crazy things. It's like history is repeating itself. I'm just gonna wait and see what happens.
Isn't that the same color yard?
It's very similar. Very, very similar.
And look at
Yes.
how they changed the wing.
Yeah.
That's like a combination of the old wing and the high wing.
Yeah.
Like it's almost a combination of those two. So it's like
Yeah, it is.
it's like a mid wing.
The country out here. Oh crap, is that like a sinkhole? Is that what that is? Damn. That's what that is. I feel awake right now.
Just got caught in a storm, guys.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Oh yeah.
Might die.
I don't know. Just gonna hang on tight. See what happens. You know, worst comes worst. We'll be swimming with the mermaids and sharks. Oh, hanging in there. You gotta brace yourself, man. Don't fall out.
It is pretty choppy.
Oh yeah, look at this. Oh my goodness. Oh, it says we can go 73 miles an hour now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there we go. Woo! We're about to get shipwrecked on that island right there. Are we going to be able to survive?
I don't know.
There's oysters out here, so we can have some oysters.
I do have a fishing pole.
Yeah, we can fish too.
Did you bring her a little water dish?
what's going to jump out of the water. Sometimes you see the mullet. Oh! Guided tour over here. Beautiful.
Nice day to be out in the water.
Yes, indeed.
Enjoying the sunshine.
Yeah. Are we a week into spring already? Just about. Gosh, time is going. Yeah, it's going by fast. Oh, there's some duckies. Duckies. Oh. Maybe we'll see some dolphins around here somewhere. To be out here. It's beautiful. Nice water, palm trees everywhere. Look at those palm trees. Out here in the middle of nowhere. Look at it. I think there's an island. Yeah, there's an island right back there. You can always get like some leaves and rope and make a hammock and yeah, some of the fronds from the palm trees. Chill out over there on the island, you know. Probably got some oysters. There's oysters back there. Some oysters, some fish. Because the motor stopped working on the boat, so we're stuck. We can't go anywhere. Better not say that. Wow, look at all that. What happened? Did somebody just flip upside down? Got some water down here. Oh yeah? Oh, cool. I'll have to check it out. Thanks. Let's see. Uh-oh. I see a little gator. Look at this, a little baby. Wow. Look at that. Yeah, he's just relaxing and floating in the water. It's not their eating time, so it's not like they're gonna... Oh boy, yeah. Yeah. Look at him right there, there he is. Just floating around. Found a gator, just a little tiny one right there. What a little fella. Right there. I didn't even notice that bird there. You got a bird right there and one back in there. Huh. Wow.
Oh no.
Look at the size of him right there. Wow, he's a big one. Wow. I like the sandy trails here in the middle of the woods where you can find something coming out of nowhere which could possibly want what you have. So be careful if you're carrying food because they might want that food. Whoa. Gotta watch out for those ants out here. Those giant ants. I have no idea what the hell's going on in this house. Did you do that? What the hell was that? Did you hear it?
Did you do that?
No. Sounded like it was coming from right up in this, like I said before, something bangs up in the attic.
I was going to ask you if you were all right.
I'm fine, other than not knowing what the hell's going on. And that just came back on again. You're not like pulling a prank on me, are you?
What's that?
You're not pulling a prank on me, are you?
I'm in the bedroom.
Yeah, well, that's a very prime place to pull a prank.
Well, not in the ceiling.
Oh yeah, I guess there's no other way to get in there except for
There's a way, but I don't have a ladder.
I sealed that.
Ladder.
I sealed that off anyway. You wouldn't be able to get in there. I took caulking and sealed the whole entire door. So there's no way anybody's going in there without ripping that seal up in that ceiling.
What do you mean?
I swear stuff is just continuing to happen in this house. Today is, I don't even know what today is. Do you know what today is? I've been looking for jobs because I need to find something that's going to help supplement my income because my home-based business took a plunge. Pandemic destroyed it, and it just got worse and worse. And I was thinking to myself, wow, yeah, once I do find a job that can accommodate my special needs, because Tina probably witnessed how many times I have a pee panic when I'm driving. You know, like, it's like, oh God, I gotta go. And there'll be times I'll be in the car for less than an hour. And I'm like, it's torture. And so
Sitting at a red light that lasts like 10 minutes.
oh, I can't. It's definitely torture on me. So I have a whole system set up just for that. And if you're in an RV, it's so much easier, you know, because then you have that option without having to go through so many different obstacles. But you can't take those portable options with you on the job.
Well, you can stick a urethra thing, a catheter in it.
I guess that's something, you know, something that's been in my mind. Like, depending on how things go, I don't even want to think that.
No, that's not alcohol, not in.
I don't even want to think that because I am worried that could be a possibility. If something ends up being something and they have to remove something, which I'm hoping and praying, that's not going to be the case. See, life is unpredictable. You cannot. There's no guarantee on nothing. Life itself has no guarantee. Your health has no guarantee. Your finances have no guarantee. The existence of this planet has no guarantee. Anything can happen at any given moment. We could be walking here and a duck could fall out of the sky and break your neck. You know, anything can just happen. It's just the way the world is. We're gonna go walking. Maybe there'll be some, what do you call it out here? Wild animals. I don't know. Panther, pink
I
panther?
want to see a bobcat.
Bobcat. Well, we have a video of the bobcat, but I figured we'd do our last like walk in the neighborhood before heading to the airport. So that's basically what's happening. And we are going to, you know, I'm going to go stop by and see a friend. I'm going to be out that way for a while. So there's many reasons for me to be heading into Florida. So this is going to be one of those trips that's going to be emotional. So, you know, it's how it is, you know, facing the reality of being alone again. You know, like to hang out with my friends. You know, my friends can be busy even if they don't live that far away anymore. You know, when you have a friend who has a farm, it's a lot of work. And I have video clips so you can see how much work's involved in maintaining a farm when you have a lot of animals, and when you're maintaining rental properties and just creating YouTube content. There's so many different things that keep you busy. So it's hard to have time with friends who are busy, you know, but you try to make the best of the time. So this trip here, you know, going to go to one of the major airports and then gonna see one of my good friends that you guys know about who has a farm. So, you know, we're gonna be there, been there the other day, going back again. So that's what's happening. I guess I'm gonna have to go get my shoes on so we can go for a walk. And then the last walk in the neighborhood, right?
Yep.
I have a feeling that there's going to be some more paranormal activity in this house, because I have a feeling, and the reason why I think this is because I'm going to be in a different emotional state of mind, and I think it feeds off of my emotions. And when I'm feeling sad or alone and I have time to think about things, that's when things start to kind of progress in this house. And when I'm preoccupied and I have company and we're doing so many other things. Like, oh, we got to do walking. Oh, we want to go to this place. We want to go to this store. We want to go to a restaurant. You know, let's go here. And just thinking about all those things, my mind is not on my loneliness. It's not on, I'm not thinking as much about my, you know, medical uncertainties. I'm not thinking as much about my financial uncertainties. I'm not thinking about a lot of things that could draw attention to whatever is in here. You know, and maybe sometimes I'm alone, or when I was alone, which I'm not right now until later, but I hear things because there's nobody here to mask the sounds in the house. So things are easier to hear. And when you hear a bang or a thump or a creak or a door shut and there's nobody in the house, then you know damn well that it's not a person. You're like, well, damn, it's paranormal. But when somebody's here and you hear a door slam, you just don't know. It could be someone who's here. That's what's happening.
Oh yeah, got some Christmas lights. Getting into the Christmas spirit and make sure they work. Gotta make sure they work. Plug them in. Ooh, whoa. These are definitely different. Look at that. Wow. I could not afford the ones in Walmart. They were too expensive, but this was like really like very cheap price on Amazon. So I got that. And look, got a remote. So now I'm gonna put this outside. Yeah. Now I just gotta figure out where outside to put it.
That's gonna be fun, putting up all this, you know? Try to have some of the Christmas spirit. You know, these lights lighting up. I like to have a little of the spirit. Look at that. Wow. I know I'm a little late. Everybody in the neighborhood's already got lights up. A lot of people had lights up like a week or two after Halloween. Well, I had the Thanksgiving stuff out. And then like 2 weeks later, Christmas stuff started popping up. I'm like, wow, that's pretty quick. And here it is, December what? December 10th. And I got Christmas lights. That's how that goes. But I'm probably going to do that when I get back because it's really early in the morning and I got to hit the road. But I'm probably going to put all that other fun stuff in the beginning and then put this towards the end because that's usually how things go. You know, me hanging out with my friends, traveling places. Put that in the beginning of the video. Me showing you, not fireworks, I'm afraid to say fireworks, Christmas lights, and possibly installing them when I get back. I don't know. We'll see. But at least they're working, you know. I really enjoy the time I spend with my friends. You know, I've had some of my friends come visit again, and then of course they're coming back again. It's like it's a great thing. And then I'm going, you know, into down south where it's warm here, believe it or not. I mean, I was expecting it to be colder, you know, this far into December, but it's not bad. Not bad at all. I know it'll probably be, what, 5-10 degrees warmer once I get into Florida. Or it might not even be that much of a difference, really, because, I mean, I'm so south of Georgia. I am southern Georgia. And then we're going to be going so far south. Yeah, it's going to be, I'll have to just check the weather. But, yeah, when I get back, it's probably going to be dark, so it'll be perfect time to get the Christmas lights going up, right? Even though I'll be struggling in the dark, but I'll have to use some flashlights. But yeah, looking forward to seeing the finished product. You know, got those Christmas lights last night, and I was like, yeah, let's do this. Let's get this going. I was going to do it last night, but I had to do some work. You know, I'm trying to run my business. It's like this. I'm putting more time into my job, my business, my own business that I've been running for like 20 years. I've just been putting so much into it, and there's not enough coming out of it. But I think I probably mentioned that before, but I'd rather not get into it. But you know, I gotta be very, very frugal. I gotta watch what I spend my money on because I don't have that much income anymore. So I'm gonna miss the organic foods that I have for my breakfast and lunch and dinner. You know, I'm hoping that I don't have to miss that. I'm hoping that I'll find a way to make it to where I don't have to give that up because, you know, if you don't have your health, then what matters anymore, you know? Money doesn't matter if you don't have your health, you know? So I'm planning on gardening and seeing how that works. Hopefully that'll work out. That way the seeds from the fruits and vegetables will help me survive and have a friend who I will be seeing and seeing again and again, and who I have seen many times as I don't live that far away anymore. I'm only a couple hours away instead of like a whole day drive. But he's got a lot of chickens, so that means some eggs. And I like pasture-raised eggs. So that's a good thing. But I got to get my breakfast routine going because I'm starving. And then I'm going to have to get out of here. I had some company, and I'm going to have some company again. There's just a whole lot happening right now. You know, it's the holiday season, trying to stay positive. and just trying to do things to keep my spirits up. You know what I mean? I figure putting the lights out there, that's a step in the right direction. And I've got some amazing neighbors next door, even though it's not really next door, you know, but it's a great time, right? You know, to be alive. You know, it could be worse. You know, things could have been bad when I had that cystoscopy done. You know, the test that I had so much anxiety over. I was so worried about what they would find. You know, although there was hardening in my bladder muscles, which explains a lot of things. You know, because of my situation where I can't go more than 40 minutes to an hour before I have to relieve my bladder. It's just crazy how that is. And thinking about that, it's like, yeah, I better make sure that I can thrive off my business, because no one's gonna hire me if I gotta continually have to run to the bathroom because my bladder is like out of control. You know, so that's another thing. And then that's a double whammy. You know, when you're in your 50s, age discrimination on top of that, you know, it's a double whammy right there. So you kind of get it one way or the other. And when you're used to being your own boss, you know, doing your own thing at your own time and having your own specific schedule, the time that you get up to have breakfast, the time you eat a snack and do your steps, your walk, your outside, you know, air, your sunshine, your real vitamin D, you know, all those things you do and working out, lifting weights, you know, just things I do every day, you know, to maintain my health. You know, me having hypertension, you know, which is high blood pressure, you know, I've had that for 25 years, and I think it's hereditary. But I got to be extra careful, and I have to put extra effort than someone who doesn't have those conditions. So that's why I have to rely on a specific kind of diet with the foods that I have. And I got to come up with a plan to maintain that. And so I did have to cancel some services, you know, like Netflix. I really never watched TV anyway. I had it because a part of me felt like I wasn't going to be here alone, that I was going to have somebody living with me, or I was going to be caring for someone that was going to need me in the future, you know, someone who is close to my age. And so it's like I wanted to have the right environment, and also thinking, well, there is a good friend of mine, you know, and I have I got maybe 5 good friends that I trust, and it's like, it'd be great for them to have a guest bedroom that they could stay in when they come to visit me. And I just want to be as accommodating as I can for my friends, and I wanted to provide a place for them to stay so they don't have to stay at a hotel when they come visit me. So I made it that way as well, you know, in addition to, you know, me just being that caring and providing person and doing what I can with what I have, with the means, you know, with whatever. I mean, I'm living off of $600 to $800 a month, but that's not technically how it works, because I'm taking money out of my retirement to pay the bills, because my bills are about $600 a week. When you accumulate the insurance, the monthly expenses for this house, for my vehicle, and I don't even know. I don't even think I even actually calculated food into that equation yet. Holy crap. Okay, well, we all have these expenses, right? So we gotta learn to budget, right? We gotta be so careful about what we do with the money that we have, especially when you have limited income. You know, when you had a time in your life where you felt like you had unlimited income, or you felt like, wow, you just have all this money and you could just spend it here and there. You know, if you want this, you can have it. If you need that, you got that. If you want to give, you know, your friends and family the biggest Christmas gifts ever, you can. You want to splurge and take them all on vacations to places that you would only dream of, you can do it. And then I've been there and done that. And, you know, I've created a lot of great memories that I feel like everybody was a part of, right? And, you know, you rewind time in your mind, you know, mentally, and you were like, wow, if I knew then what I know now, I would have been so careful. I would have maybe downgraded the vacations, because maybe it's not always about the style home you're renting and taking your friends and family into, or it's not always about being at the most amazing resort. It could be just about getting away and spending time together, and regardless of how fancy the accommodations are. I guess my mind was in that place where, I felt like, I could show more love by, having us staying in a bigger, fancier, most elegant and desirable place, a resort, something that, just goes above and beyond. And I think that part of my heart just thought, hey, if I splurge on something like that, it's going to be more meaningful. It's going to be a more powerful thing. It's going to be, it's I guess, a way to show my love, and I look at it now, it's like, those things are materialistic, fancy rental places that you take your family and friends to, and living in a nice, bigger home, which was more than adequate. I feel like all those things, they're materialistic. And maybe I pushed myself too hard to provide above and beyond, because I wanted to create that lifestyle that, was the best for everyone. And I guess maybe I got caught up in that, I got caught up in that whole thing. And I just felt like, hey, this is the lifestyle we live. And then what happens is, when things change financially, you'll lose that, but then you don't want to let go of that. And then you start holding on to what you had. And the financial consequences are that it's going to cost money you don't have to maintain. And then you just drain yourself dry so fast, because sometimes it's a hard psychological thing for you to let go of, because when you create those memories during those times while living that lifestyle, it's like there's a connection. And so if you disconnect yourself from that lifestyle, especially when you no longer have the financial means, you also feel like you're pulling yourself away and disconnecting from those memories, from the whole connection to everyone that was part of that. It kind of makes you feel distanced from that, especially when you have relocated so far across the country away from everybody, because you felt like everybody was going to move in their own direction anyway. And, people, when you have friends and family, we don't all stay the same age. We grow older. Some of us grow older, get married, move on. And those are circumstances that happen in a lot of people's lives. And when that does happen, you're no longer going to be taking everybody on these vacations everywhere, even if you had the money, because now other people that are in your family or people that are friends, they're having their own family unit, they're living in their own household. And some couples end up having kids, so then it's their unit, and then they end up taking their kids places. And then once in a while you may visit family, and that's what happens. You'll visit your friends and your family, right? But I'm in the situation where, I came down this way for career opportunities, the promise of a good job, and doing some research, finding out that there was a lot of good opportunities for me, and also for health coverage, the health insurance and medical, just medical facilities, and places that can help those who need assisted living. And so all these things I took into account, and I'm like, okay, well, it depends on what direction things go in life. I may have another person in this home, on a regular basis who will, be watched after by me. And they're pretty much the same age as me. And you would wonder, well, why would you need to watch after someone that's close to the same age? Well, like I said, sometimes people in your life, friends or family, they can be weighed down by some kind of physical or neurological condition. And these things could lead you to depend on others. And so, I'm having all these friendships, and, if any of my friends are dealing with any kind of issue where they need help and they're a good friend of mine, I'm gonna lend a helping hand. I'm gonna do what I can within my means, within my experience, within my emotional capacity. I may not be able to take on as many things that may be needed by any such individuals, but I was always prepared to do the best that I can, and then leave the rest to those in the medical field and that profession and in the assisted living profession to do the things that I'm not capable of doing, whether it's something that's, experience-wise, or maybe it's something that's overwhelming emotionally to where I just don't have the emotional capacity to do certain things. But I've always had that mindset to be there for those who I care about and not let anything get in the way. Sometimes you'll have hard feelings, you'll have negative feelings, you'll have, disconnect, misunderstandings. You'll have things that'll happen in life that'll make you wonder where you stand with certain people that you used to have a more of a, I guess, active relationship with, where you had more communications. Things happen in life. Your friends, they move on, they may move across the country. Things happen. So you just can only do so much in your time that you have here. Make the best of the time that you have in existence. Don't let the negative weigh you down. You're human. You can only do so much. You can only take on so much. And the thing is, be thankful for every day that you wake up. Be thankful for every day that you're blessed to be here, to experience life, and do the things that make you feel good in your heart. You might not always have a happy day. You might not always feel like smiling, but deep down, every day that you're here is something to be thankful for. And so this environment that I've created, this house that I've moved into, this was not all just about me. This was about me and others who mean the world to me, others who are a big part of my life, because I wanted to be able to have something there to offer. And I needed to be in a place where I felt safer, where I felt like I couldn't have my home taken away because of medical bills and, lack of insurance, lack of, health coverage. And the medical facilities that, that are here are much better, and it just makes you feel like you're in better hands. And then if I'm in better hands, anyone who would be here, who may need me, would be in better hands as well, based on that alone. But I would be a good companion, a good friend, but I can't do so much. I have my limitations. I have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of experience in exercising, healthy eating, and, I know a lot about medical things, but I do have limitations emotionally, and there's some other limitations, because I do have my set of problems, plus also having to work means that I would have to be out of the house, because working for myself doesn't seem to be working. It's kind of a no pun intended, but working for myself is not really working out. And so I'm pushed to have to
do electrical work or do this or do that or whatever it may take to make ends meet. So, you know, trying to find that particular kind of work where someone will accept me for who I am. You know, the guy who has, you know, a hardened bladder wall, enlarged prostate, who's in his 50s, who, you know, every 40 minutes to an hour I need to relieve my bladder. I need to have my water, my snacks. I'm constantly, you know, just, I guess, getting anxious about my steps. And, you know, that's me. But anyway, I got to get this video edited. I got to make me some breakfast. I got to hit the road. I got a lot happening because I'm going to be going places. Plus, I might end up staying at my friend's camper. I've said this before. He has a retro camper. It's really cool. I'm thinking about, you know, maybe I stay there if it gets too late and it's too dark to drive back home, you know. But we'll see where that goes. But yeah, put this towards the end of the video so you can see all the good stuff in the beginning. But take care and be safe.